Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Well, Wildcard Weekend is in the books, and I cannot tell you how happy I was that the Green Bay Packers took it to the Dallas Cowboys and sent them home and sent all these cowboy fans that I live around here up in North Louisiana scurrying into their little hidey holes, wearing their sackcloth and ashes in mourning. But that wasn't even the best part about Wild Card Weekend. The best part? The game between the Lions and the Rams late in the game. Rams driving, Lions commit an obvious pass interference, but guess what happens? No call. Karma is a beautiful thing. And in this instance, exactly in this instance, nobody deserves that karma more than the Rams because the no call in 2018, as I've said before, robbed us of possibly another Super Bowl appearance, definitely robbed us of another Super Bowl appearance, and possibly another Super Bowl win. Hail Detroit. That no call was a thing of beauty, especially against the Rams. What I'm really on here to talk about is our general manager, Mickey Mouse Loomis. I know all of you that love and follow the Saints either saw, heard about, or checked out a recap on some of these podcasts. Big Q, thank you very much. To sum up what he had to say. Yes, they let Pete Carmichael go. That was expected. I called the Cody Burns firing, though a lot of people don't see why that happened, while some do. Consider some of those routes. You saw three receivers running to the same side of the field, spaced 3 to 5 yards from each other. Now, I don't know if that's a function of Pete Carmichael's play design or Cody Burns' play design because this did involve the wide receivers, and he was, I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the wide receivers coach. Doug Marrone is still here. Dennis Allen is still here. So Mickey does his press conference and consider that he's called us fans and writers unsophisticated. He's just about called us low IQ, mongoloid idiots. Personally, I don't appreciate it. But he gets up there in his press conference trying to make us swallow that Dennis Allen is on a par with a Bill Belichick or a Tom Landry. Landry went 1-11 in his first season, but after that, they might have had subpar season 2 or 3 after that. But after that, Landry went soaring. And, well, he didn't come down until the end of his tenure. Bill Belichick's first foray into Cleveland was not successful. Bill Belichick going to New England may not have been at first, with an adjustment period to be expected. That, I think, may have been New England may have been Belichick's second head coaching job. I'm not sure about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Whatever it is that he's taking or smoking that's got him flying as high as that, please send me some. If for no other reason than to blast the memory of this atrocity out of my mind. Dennis Allen already had a body of work behind him before he became head coach of the Saints. I will say, and everybody know, Bill Belichick might have went 4-12 his first season, but I bet you he didn't go 4-12 his second season. And I bet you he didn't go 0-4 in his third season and get bounced out of his job because he was so awful. I bet you that. And please, don't put the idea of Sean Payton in our face, Mickey. Yes, Sean was unproven when he was hired. And what did he do? His first season, he goes 10-6, makes it into the playoffs, and not only to the playoffs, but all the way to the NFC Championship game. And him going 7-9 the next year, 0-4 out of the gate, and going 8-8 that very next year, 2008, when they lost, what, 5 games by 5 points or less? We could see something happening there. Like Dennis Allen held on to Pete Carmichael too long, Sean Payton also held on to Joe Vitt too long. He was still here when Dennis Allen came on in 2009. Yes, Allen has a ring as a member of the 2009 Saints. Dennis Allen was here in 2009 when the Saints won the Super Bowl, but so was Joe Vitt, also still here. I do believe that Allen had a foray elsewhere. Of course he did. He went to coach the Raiders from 2012 to 2014. During that time, and we all know what his record was with the Raiders. But then here we have Mickey Mouse Loomis trying to sell us the idea that Dennis Allen is on a par with two of the great coaches of this game in Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Please. While I was watching Mickey run his yip and try to sell us a bill of goods that not even he believes, that vortex starts spinning again, and I'm going round and round. And round one end of that vortex, I see Mickey. Following him down the vortex, I see Trump. And off in that vortex with us are Jerry Jones and I can't call his name right out, but he was head coach, general manager, came up through the ranks of the Raiders, Al Davis. When Al Davis decided that, he was going to be the boss of the Raiders, he took him over. I think he had the ability to veto whatever the coach had to say. And the Raiders started circling the toilet and still are circling the toilet. Another example of the same thing, though that team has been a little bit more successful, is Jerry Jones. Now, everybody who's watched football, knows football, and loves football knew that those 90s Cowboys team, however much you may hate the Cowboys, but those 90s Cowboys teams from 92 to 96 should have gone 4-0 in the Super Bowl. Instead, they go 3 out of 4 because Jerry Jones wants all the attention for himself instead of the attention being lavished on the coaching genius and the eye for talent that Jimmy Johnson possessed. It's absolute karmic justice that Jerry Jones hasn't won a Super Bowl since that little power move of his. He cursed himself. I don't want to see Mickey curse us that way, the way that Al Davis seems to have cursed the Raiders to this day. Mickey running his mouth the way he do is about to inspire a full-scale fan revolt. We've heard him speak. We've heard him say what he thinks of us. We don't know what a coach is doing behind the scenes. No, we don't because we're not there. All we know is what we see on the field. The product on the field reflects the preparation put into that product before it even gets to the field. What does that say about Alan? But Mickey, you don't care. All you care about is being right. You share this with Dennis Allen. Picking that used broke down car up from the bench that you invested all of that money in. He's got to be right. Both of you are bound up in this. Swimming down that vortex, and you can't get out. Not without admitting what all of us see and all of us know. But you're not going to do that, are you? Your ego won't let you do that. I mean, I'm sure all the other general managers in the league, Mickey, are looking at you and snickering. Howie Roseman leading the charge because he's fleeced you more than anyone else has. The most unprofessional thing you can do is to be a person in a professional capacity, presenting yourself on stage and on camera, chewing a wad of gum. I hope in your dreams your grandma whooped your ass for that. Wasn't a good look, Mickey. Wasn't a good look at all. Is that what the Saints have become now? Is that the kind of shenanigans that we can look forward to from our general manager? He has no constraints now. He's got his puppet on a string, or perhaps both of them are joined to each other on a string after a fashion. They have to be right. And Mrs. B goes to her parties, her cotillions, her ribbon cuttings, her charity events. While Mickey Loomis, Dennis Lauschka, and Dennis Allen burn this team to the ground. Yes, there have been low days in Saints history. There were the 1980 Baghead days. There's a reason that bag is sitting there. It's there because this, even though it was a 9-8 season, consider that this 9-8 season, most of those wins came against a weak as ice water NFC South, and really, in my opinion, some of the weaker teams in the NFC, New York Giants being one of them, even though I did predict that the Giants would beat them and the Rams wouldn't. Crossing stuff up once again. I'm almost to the point that I'm getting so angry about the disrespect that us loyal and faithful fans, the people who cover the Saints for a living, are being regarded by the Saints general manager? Because the coach, yeah, he probably feels that way too, but he ain't got the balls to say so. And I guess chewing that gum, and being high on whatever it was he was smoking, drinking, or eating, whatever, is the only way Mickey could do it with a somewhat straight face, even though it wasn't straight because he was smacking that damn gum the whole time. Y'all. There's one other time I felt like this about a team. I think it was back in the 90s. Some of you may be old enough to remember how the Tennessee Titans got to where they are. That team was once the Houston Oilers. And their owner, Bud Adams, showed his ass to the city of Houston, called them names, and slandered the people who had been supporting him faithfully all that time. To the point to where the populace in Houston dang near said to a man, carry your ass, get your team, and go. We's tired of you. But see, by that time, Bud Adams was starting to think that he had gone a little bit too far. But by then, he had turned the whole of Houston and outlying areas against him. Now, memory may not serve me, but I think this was sometime after, couple, 3 years maybe, after Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson for the sake of his itty bitty ego. I'm beginning to feel like that about Mickey. And I'm beginning to wonder if his old rotten ass wasn't part of the reason that Rita Benson LeBlanc was driven out of the organization. Because I'm going to tell you that she was the one person who would hold their damn feet to the fire about stuff. She was instrumental in the hiring of Sean Payton from Dallas as head coach here, especially since the job that Sean Payton wanted in Green Bay became occupied by someone else. So, obviously, this was where he belonged. Dennis Allen don't belong here. He ain't a saint. Sean Payton wasn't a saint when he got here, but god damn it, he became one. A saint wouldn't have thrown his team under the bus for running up the score on their most hated rival. Not in public. Peyton was crass sometimes, but he had a little bit of class around him, especially when it came to the rules, mores, and etiquette of football. Dennis dumbass Allen can't do that. Somehow I feel like I'm running along with this. Maybe I am. But I had to get on here and vent and get this out. I wish somehow that I hope that players, the brass, I hope that people are listening to us. But it seems like they're not. Because if they were, most shit would have changed than Pete Carmichael being dismissed as the offensive coordinator. And watch what I tell you. The next person they hire as offensive coordinator will be somebody from outside of the organization instead of promoting Ronald Curry into the position. They'll get someone who won't directly compete with Dennis Allen in the mind of the players or the fans. But we've already seen that Allen has already lost this locker room. So all he can do with the players is man the fuck up and admit that you ain't been about your But that'll never happen because this is Dennis Allen. Anyway, it's enough to make folks drink, smoke, and cuss. And the only one I ain't did on here yet is smoke. So where is my vape? Y'all, excuse me for a second. There goes my vape right there. Now, usually I have everything that I want right here close by, but hey, I'm slipping a little bit. Weather been bad. I got a little bit of cabin fever going on. Anyway, now I should have done it like that. Just huffed all that in at once instead of slowly doing it. But maybe I needed to get me a shot of nicotine to ground me. Just a little bit. Anyway, folks. Woo-wee. It's a mess, I tell you. Y'all take care out there. Love you. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Good night. Who dat?